Why is February spelled with an R? The short answer is because that's how it was spelled in Latin, but that's only part of the story. The Old English word for that time of the year was solmonath, which might have meant mud month because of the weather at that time of year. It's from the Old English word sol, meaning mud or wet sand. St. Bede, however, claimed that the name meant cake month because that was the month that the Anglo-Saxons offered cakes to their gods. The Latin word februarius, on the other hand, comes from the Latin word februum, which meant a purification or purging, in reference to the purification ritual that happened on February 15th every year. It's possible that that word februum is also connected to the words fume and fever because those have to do with burning or smoke. It wasn't until the late 1300s that English borrowed the word for February from Old French. But by that point, the Latin word februarius had changed its pronunciation to just be fevere or feoveral. So by the time that word got to English, that R wasn't even pronounced. English has never pronounced that first R for as long as it's been a word in English. By the way, if you like these videos and you want to go in a little more depth, check out my newsletter at linguisticdiscovery.com. So if we borrowed the word without the R, why do we still spell it with the R? During the Renaissance, scholars were heavily influenced by classical Greek and Latin writings, so they began respelling a lot of words that had been borrowed from French and Latin using the original Latin spellings, even though they weren't pronounced that way anymore. Some other examples of these etymological respellings include isle, debt, doubt, indite, island, plumber, receipt, salmon, and subtle. The silent consonants in all of those words were pronounced in Latin, but lost by the time they were borrowed into English. It was only later that scholars decided to respell them to be closer to their original Latin spelling.